In a shocking turn of events, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has openly vowed revenge on Israel after the devastating attack in Qatar. The Middle East is now standing on the edge of a dangerous escalation, and the world is watching closely as tensions rise higher than ever before. Stay tuned, because what's coming next could reshape the entire region. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most explosive developments in the Middle East. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, widely known as MBS, has vowed revenge against Israel following the recent deadly attack in Qatar. This statement has sent shockwaves across the globe and raised urgent questions about the stability of the region. As we break this story down, we'll analyze what exactly led to this bold declaration, how Saudi Arabia might act, and what the global reaction is shaping up to be. Remember, Saudi Arabia and Israel have historically had complicated relations, with moments of quiet diplomacy mixed with underlying hostility. But this latest event could potentially push both nations into direct confrontation. In this video, we'll walk through the timeline of events, the political context, the military capabilities of both nations, and the possible scenarios if this rivalry escalates. So buckle up, because this isn't just another headline. It's a story that could redefine the balance of power in the Middle East and even beyond. The spark that ignited this crisis was a deadly attack in Qatar. Reports suggest that the strike caused massive casualties and widespread destruction, shocking the international community. While Israel has not officially confirmed responsibility, multiple sources within the region have pointed fingers directly at Tel Aviv. Qatar, a small but powerful Gulf state, has always played a delicate role in the Middle East. It often positions itself as a mediator while also maintaining ties with groups that oppose Israel. This unique role has made Qatar a flashpoint in regional politics. The recent attack not only threatens Qatar's sovereignty, but also puts its allies, particularly Saudi Arabia, in a tough position. For Saudi Arabia, the assault on Qatar was seen as an attack on its own sphere of influence. MBS's vow of revenge comes in direct response to this perception, signaling that Saudi Arabia will not sit idle while one of its key partners in the region suffers such a blow. The attack in Qatar has therefore become more than a single event. It is now a catalyst for a possible regional war. Mohammed bin Salman is not known for backing down. His leadership style is aggressive, ambitious, and determined to make Saudi Arabia a dominant power in the region. By openly vowing revenge against Israel, MBS has made one of his boldest declarations yet. This statement was not whispered in private circles. It was delivered in a way that the world could hear loud and clear. For many, this marks a turning point in Saudi policy. In the past, Riyadh's approach toward Israel was often cautious, influenced by behind-the-scenes diplomacy and American mediation. But now MBS has thrown subtlety out the window. His message is straightforward. Saudi Arabia will retaliate. This shift signals a new era where Saudi Arabia is willing to confront Israel directly, regardless of global consequences. For his supporters, this vow demonstrates strength and leadership. For his critics, it raises fears of plunging the Middle East into a devastating conflict. Either way, MBS has set the stage for a showdown that few thought possible just a few months ago. The reaction across the Middle East has been intense and divided. Qatar has welcomed Saudi Arabia's firm stance, seeing it as a vital shield in the aftermath of the attack. Other Gulf states, however, are more cautious. The UAE and Bahrain, for example, have recently normalized ties with Israel under the Abraham Accords. For them, this sudden clash between Riyadh and Tel Aviv creates a major diplomatic headache. Meanwhile, Iran has seized the moment to back Saudi Arabia's position. Tehran, a longtime adversary of Israel, is eager to see a powerful Arab state take a stand against what it calls Israeli aggression. Palestinian groups, too, have hailed MBS vow as a long-awaited stance from the Arab world's largest power. But the West is far more worried. Washington and European capitals are scrambling to prevent escalation. They know that if Saudi Arabia and Israel go head-to-head, the entire region could collapse into chaos. The regional reaction is therefore a mix of support, caution, and alarm, underscoring just how dangerous this moment really is. Beyond the Middle East, MBS vow has sent shockwaves across the globe. The United States, Israel's closest ally, is now under immense pressure to intervene diplomatically. Washington has already urged Saudi Arabia to exercise restraint, fearing that an escalation could drag America back into a major Middle Eastern conflict. Europe, dealing with its own crisis, is equally concerned. Countries like France and the UK are calling for calm, knowing that an Israel-Saudi confrontation could disrupt global oil supplies and trigger an economic crisis. Russia and China, on the other hand, see opportunities. Both nations are looking to expand their influence in the Gulf, and a conflict of this scale could create openings for them to position themselves as mediators or arms suppliers. The global shockwaves also extend to financial markets. Oil prices have already shown signs of volatility, and investors fear a full-scale conflict could push energy prices to record highs. In short, MBS's vow is not just a Middle Eastern issue, it's a global one with consequences far beyond the region. To understand the seriousness of MBS's vow, we must examine Saudi Arabia's military power. Over the past decade, Riyadh has invested billions of dollars into modernizing its armed forces. The kingdom now boasts advanced fighter jets, missile defense systems, and one of the largest defense budgets in the world. Saudi Arabia also has strong military partnerships, particularly with the United States, which has provided cutting-edge weapons and training. However, despite this, Saudi Arabia's military has faced challenges in recent conflicts, such as the war in Yemen. This raises questions about whether the kingdom is truly prepared to confront Israel, a nation with one of the most battle-tested militaries on earth. But make no mistake, Saudi Arabia's vast financial resources mean it can sustain a long conflict if necessary. Its air force, naval strength, and growing missile arsenal provide the tools to launch significant retaliation if MBS chooses to make good on his vow. Israel, on the other hand, is no stranger to conflict. Its military, known as the Israel Defense Forces (IDF), is one of the most advanced in the world. With cutting-edge technology, cyber warfare capabilities, and a powerful air force, Israel is more than capable of defending itself against Saudi aggression. The Iron Dome missile defense system, for example, has proven highly effective in intercepting rockets. Israel also has strong intelligence networks and covert operations that give it a strategic edge. If Saudi Arabia were to retaliate, Israel would likely respond swiftly and decisively. The danger here is that both nations have the capacity to inflict serious damage on each other, creating a cycle of escalation that could spiral out of control. The Israeli government has so far remained relatively quiet about MBS's vow, but make no mistake, they are preparing for all possible scenarios. If push comes to shove, Israel will not hesitate to strike back hard. So what happens next? There are several possible scenarios. The first is a limited military confrontation where Saudi Arabia carries out symbolic strikes against Israeli targets to show strength without plunging into full-scale war. The second scenario is a direct, prolonged conflict where both nations exchange strikes, dragging in regional players like Iran, the UAE, and possibly even Turkey. The third scenario is cyber warfare, with both nations launching digital attacks on each other's infrastructure. And finally, the best-case scenario, diplomacy. International pressure could force both sides to step back from the brink. But right now, With emotions running high and MBS determined to prove Saudi Arabia's power, the likelihood of escalation cannot be ignored. These scenarios highlight just how unpredictable and dangerous this situation truly is. Even in the face of MBS's vow, diplomacy remains the only real solution to prevent catastrophe. Behind closed doors, frantic negotiations are already underway. The United States is reportedly sending envoys to both Riyadh and Tel Aviv, urging restraint. Qatar, still reeling from the attack, is also pushing for dialogue, hoping to avoid being the spark that ignites a regional war. The United Nations has called for calm, though its influence is limited in such high-stakes confrontations. Meanwhile, back-channel talks between Saudi and Israeli officials are rumored to be taking place, though with little progress so far. The reality is that both nations have too much to lose from a direct war. For Saudi Arabia, it could derail its Vision 2030 economic transformation plan. For Israel, it could open new fronts in an already volatile region. Diplomacy may be difficult, but it remains the most rational path forward. As we've seen, MBS vow of revenge on Israel is more than just a headline. It's a potential game changer for the Middle East and the world. The attack in Qatar has set off a chain reaction that could either end in devastating conflict or open the door for a new era of diplomacy. Right now, the future is uncertain and the stakes could not be higher. Will MBS follow through on his vow? Will Israel respond with equal force? Or will cooler heads prevail before it's too late? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found this breakdown informative, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on this unfolding story. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think will happen next? Until next time, stay informed and stay safe.